Welcome, everybody. My name is Paula Huynh. I'm with Funding America Mortgage, and today I am joined by Nanette Bennett from Company Counsel. Hello, Nanette, and welcome.
Thank you.
Company Counsel has helped a lot of my clients, especially those investors who are looking to start their real estate investment business. And I thought it would be a fantastic idea to invite Nanette onto my YouTube channel to talk about the importance of setting up the LLC correctly and any other legalities that can come up when you are transitioning from maybe just like an independent investor where you have one or two going into multiple. Because one of the things that company counsel does, they help small business owners. They're not looking for the large, huge companies. They want small business owners to help them with their legal needs without bankrupting them with legal fees. I think that's a pretty good assumption, right? Again, thanks for coming. We're going to jump right into it. So, what would be like the step for an investor who, wants to start an LLC?
The first thing that somebody wants to do, right, is I would say is talking to the attorney because a lot of times we're only looking at what's immediate, like what's right in front of our face. If you think about a renovation for your house, you're like, oh, I want to do my kitchen over. And then you start to do your kitchen over, and then you're like, you know what? I should have done this with my living room and the entrance to the basement. Now you're starting to see a larger picture instead of just what's right in front of you. It would have been better to talk, just at least talk to a designer, talk to an architect, talk to somebody to say, even if all I can afford right now is my kitchen, let me see the bigger picture so that I know whether to piece this together right now or bite the bullet and do the larger picture. Most people going through this process have not gone to law school. So they're just looking at this one piece. Oh, let me start this LLC. But depending on their larger goal, they may want to start a corporation, an S Corp or a B Corp, or maybe they're going to be looking to go into nonprofit at some point. Have a conversation. So I think the first step, even if you have, once you have that inkling of an idea, let me at least speak to somebody. And our consultations are free. So you can call and speak to somebody that knows what they're talking about, right? That knows the process and say, this is what I want to do, and let it come bubbling out of you. Then let the attorney say, that's great. First of all, congratulations. Now let's talk about when you want to do it and what you want your tax implications to be. And now let me get you, I may need to refer you to a CPA, right, or a tax expert to talk about those things. But let's look at the larger picture and then bring it in, and we can go into what's the first step in that. I think the best thing to do is to start with the free consultation with us, and then you can start to map out your process,
Okay.
right? You don't have to have it all figured out before you come to us. Nobody washes their hair before they go to the hairdresser, right? Let them do all of
Right.
that. So let us do all of that. You don't have to have it figured out before you come to us.
Oh, that's very cool. Do you know exactly what they'll work on when a client calls? Like, for example, let's say you have someone who is already an existing investor, right? So they own a couple houses. Do you know how complicated it is to then switch that to an LLC or the steps involved in that? What would be some of the things they'd have to look out for so they don't get in trouble?
That's a great question. I want to preface this by saying I'm not an attorney, so nothing I am saying is legal advice. Unfortunately, when you are involved in investing and you have some properties and now you're like, oh, let me get the LLCs, there's transfer taxes, right? So now to put that property into your business name from your own name, you have to transfer your property into your business name. There are tax implications there.
Right.
You're going to have to possibly pay federal, state, and municipal taxes on that property. So it just depends on where you are. That's not to say that you shouldn't go through the process before you continue to buy properties. It's probably a good idea to have the LLC set up first, but then also having somebody take you through that process so that you aren't doing it may not be a good financially to do it all at one time. Maybe you do a property at a time so that you're transferring the information and the properties over the legal way for taxes and liability. And that's the big thing when you're dealing with the lawyer. You don't want to get in trouble and you don't know what you don't know. Sometimes people are trying to save a dollar by not going to an attorney. But newsflash, Google doesn't know everything about the law.
Surprising. Oh my gosh. I'm so shocked I just can't ChatGPT it. I deal with investors a lot. I did not realize they'd have to pay transfer taxes. When you purchase a home, the seller is paying the transfer taxes. If any potential investors out there that don't own any properties yet, listen to what Nanette said and get a consultation first. When you buy a first property, the seller is going to pay that transfer tax. And if you already have everything set up in the beginning, you don't have to pay it, right? Hopefully. It is negotiable in the contract, but I won't dive into those details. I deal with investors a lot, and I've seen a lot of different ways. I've seen them write the LLC in, they have one LLC cover many properties. I've also have had the pleasure of having to deal with an LLC per property and all of those tax returns that go along with it. What would be the reason to do either way? Do you know?
The reason why people do LLCs for properties in the first place is liability, right? It is to protect them from the property. And so it would be about the same thought process, but that is a fantastic thing that you can talk through with one of our intake specialists. Like, do I want to have one LLC that owns all of my properties? Do I want to have an LLC for all of my properties? Do I want to have an umbrella corporation? Do I want to have DBA, like doing business as? All of these things, because people hear buzzwords and they get all excited, but there are implications that come along with all of those things. And then, particularly with the DBA, just to let people know, especially in Philadelphia, right? When you do a business as, you have to let the world know. And so you have to you have to publish it in two
Oh,
different types of periodicals. And you have to pay for that. You have to publish in a daily and a weekly for 6 weeks. You can run an ad in the Inquirer just simply saying, I'm Ninette Bennett and and I have a corporation doing business as ABC. And you have to pay for that yourself. And that's, again, not to say that you shouldn't, but it's all, what's your end goal? What's your end game?
no, and unless you talk to an expert. I
Yep.
highly doubt that it's listed someplace like very bold and big.
When you go to the website, it's not like you're going to pay extra money. Nobody's saying that to you. And so, again, not to say that these things are bad, but it's good to know if that's not my end game, if my end game is my outcome is not associated with this thing, then I don't necessarily have to do it. But you don't know that until you're having a conversation with somebody who can see the larger picture, not just the thing that's in front of you.
Now, a lot of investors, and we are in a really good area to do business not only in Pennsylvania and Philadelphia, but also New Jersey, Delaware, Maryland, sometimes New York. So there's investors in multiple states. Are there more things that they have to be aware of that company counsel would help with?
If you have an LLC in Pennsylvania and then you're going to do business in another place, sometimes you have to do a foreign entity registration to say, hey, I'm coming into Delaware with my business to do this thing. And that's paperwork that we can file. But depending on what you're doing, depends on what needs to be done. Is, again, having these conversations. And you bring up a good point. There's more to business than just starting your LLC or just starting your business entity. There are going to be other legal things that come up. Having a trusted advisor, having somebody that you can go to ask these questions and to be able to be like, hey, what's happening? Do I have to do this? Is a great thing. And company counsel's there for you for that, just to be able to ask those questions. But we also have a program where we will do those things, right? Like we can act as your inside counsel, even though we're outsourced, right? Like small businesses, a lot of them, they don't have the budget to be able to have, I'm just going to be able to walk down the hall and knock on my attorney's door, right? That's great. But how wonderful is it to be able to call up your attorney at any moment and be like, you know what, I want to do business in this place and what do I have to do? And then, for instance, we say, oh, that's a foreign registration, right? Entity registration. And then we do the paperwork and you pay the filing fee and it's done. You're, you concentrate on what you're doing. You concentrate on investing, finding properties and placing people in homes or flipping the property or whatever it is that's your goal for your business. You concentrate on that. And we are taking care of the other stuff. At the end of the year, your paperwork's already together. You have it bundled to go to your CPA or tax professional. Boom, here it is. This is done. These are my expenses, whatever the case may be, but you have those things already done. I tell people all the time, company counsel doesn't provide legal services. We provide peace of mind.
Oh,
And that's super
absolutely.
important.
Did you have any stories or recent scenarios that you can share where company counsel, regardless if they're investors or not, was able to like save the day and and give that peace of mind to someone?
Funny you would ask. So we haven't done anything for this person, but I had a woman reach out to us a few months ago, and she thought that she was going to need some type of contract. And I reached out to her and she's, oh, we found somebody and we don't need your services. And I was like, great. Best of luck. Hope all is well. If you need it in the future, whatever. And I haven't really thought about this woman in a couple of months. Well, she called me today and she's, I don't know if you remember me, but, and I was like, yes, it seems familiar. How are things going? She's, I told you we didn't need your services, but we do. And almost like she felt ashamed that she had to call back. And I was like, first of all, I'm glad that you remembered and you called us. Now you're in the right place. You're not out there by yourself. Secondly, yes, I would love to help you. It's not a problem at all. And she called back and she's, I have my business partner. And so I'm like, let me get you a consultation because the consultations are free. And I'm looking on our intake specialist calendar. And she's like, that works for me, but it doesn't work for my colleague. And I said, you know what? Let's make this easy. I'm going to send you his link.
Mhm.
You can look at his calendar and schedule directly on it. And I'm here. You can call me back. Call me if you have any problems. And she's, thank you for making it so easy. Miss, first of all, I have to make things harder on you. You are a small business owner. Everything is already hard. I don't want to make it harder on you. Two, what kind of person would I be to be like, see, I told you you should have called. I hope that she got the help that she needed a few months ago. That's great. But now we're here and let's move forward. We actually haven't done anything for her yet, but what I gave her today was peace of mind, right? I let her be able to breathe that it's okay. You don't have to be ashamed. We're going to get this done and it's going to be easy. And that's how the process should be, whether somebody is filing suit against you, whether you are filing suit against somebody else, whether you are growing and you need somebody to watch your back to help you be able to scale up, whatever it is. It may not always be fun, but it shouldn't be catastrophic.
Oh, that's some good words. I like that. Doesn't have to be fun, but it shouldn't be catastrophic. Absolutely.
Right?
And that's what a great feel good story. She felt comfortable to call you back. I deal with it all the time as well. With people, they get themselves in situations, they may feel ashamed and they think people are going to tell them, told you, and then feel even worse.
Yeah.
We,
Nobody.
we beat us up more than
We
everyone
can.
around us.
And I like to say your business just got a new best friend. We all know that your best friend knows some stuff about you that nobody else does. And they see you at your worst, and that's okay. They don't judge you. You just keep on rocking.
Mm.
And that's what company counsel does for your small business, right? And for your business enterprise. And we want people to be able to impact the world the way that they want to, and we want to help them get there.
I love it. I love it. Thank you again for taking time out of your day to talk to me about company counsel and helping investors. If any investors or anyone who is looking to start a new business or even has an existing business, they want to talk to you, how they reach out. What should they do?
They can reach out to us. Our website is companycounsel.law. So as long as they put the .law on .com, they'll be good. They can schedule a consultation right from our website. They can request more information right from our website. We also are on Instagram, we're on Facebook, we're on LinkedIn. And not only can they get connected with us there, but they also, like, we're 3 times a week, we're putting out content about things that are going to help them, like help with employees or help with contracts small business owners can get tripped up with. And so we're just trying to give them a little bit of help, but I'll also give them my telephone number and they can also reach us by email at info@companycounsel.law. But my telephone number directly is 484-325-5657.
Wonderful. Thank you again for being on. I really appreciate you.
Ooh,
I had a lot of fun and I learned a lot.
good. You need anything else? Company Counsel's here for you.
You got it.
Thanks, Paula.
Thank you.